Let's bring in former Trump White House official and political commentator Cameron Kinsey, along with Republican strategist Luke Ball. Luke, to you first. I want to kind of run down. We're going to start with DOGE, and I think it's kind of fascinating because you have this scenario, put this up on the screen, where you have in 2024 the Biden EPA awards a $2 billion grant to Power Forward communities. Rewiring America then receives $490 million in funding from Power Forward. In 2023, Stacey Abrams joins Rewiring America as senior counsel. And in 2022, Stacey Abrams said this to CNN. Watch.
I intend to push for environmental resilience, and this is a bill that's going to help us do that. But overall, it's going to put money back into the pockets of Georgians, back into the pockets of Americans, and that's the kind of progress we need to continue to make.
A lot of people tonight, Luke, are wondering, did that money go in the pockets of Georgians or did the money go in the pockets of somebody else?
You know, it amazes me that if one of the things that DOGE uncovered happened in corporate America, it'd be considered white-collar crime. But apparently, if you just call it a federal grant and run it through the federal government, everything is totally hunky-dory. Something to point out about DOGE, this is our Boston Tea Party. We threw tea into the harbor back in the Boston Tea Party, and now we are throwing pork into the Potomac. This is the hard-earned paychecks, the hard-earned dollars of the American people. You would have to bundle together hundreds of thousands of dollars of blue-collar paychecks to equal one line item on the waste, abuse, and fraud that DOGE has uncovered. I hope we find a whole lot more.
Well, they found a whole lot more in the education system. This is Department of Government Efficiency. Schools have spent nearly $200 billion, Cameron Kinsey, of COVID relief funds with little oversight or impact on students. $393,000 to rent out a Major League Baseball stadium, $86,000 in Caesars Palace hotel rooms, $60,000 in swimming pool passes, even an ice cream truck. All of this money was drawn with zero documentation. I mean, it's one of those things where you're like, forget the test scores being at a world record low. I mean, they're wasting all this money, and there's a reason the test scores are down.
Yeah, and they're just not focused on the right things. And I think this is why so many Americans don't trust the government, especially when it comes to government spending. And luckily, we have, under the Trump administration, the Department of Government Efficiency really exposing this corruption. But now we know why the left didn't want any oversight, right? This is absolutely absurd, and I'm glad that we're bringing attention to this matter because it's gotten way too out of hand.
Yeah. Meantime, the president said this today on Brian Kilmeade's radio show about Volodymyr Zelensky. Watch.
So I've been watching for years, and I've been watching him negotiate with no cards. He has no cards. And you get sick of it. You just get sick of it. And I've had it.
So a lot of people kind of going after the president, saying, oh, he's been kind of hard this week on Zelensky. But yet the Wall Street Journal, Luke, reporting tonight that White House and Ukraine are very close to a deal for these mineral rights, very key to the United States and for Ukraine as well. So it seems like they are, they're still talking, still negotiating here.
It's unfortunate that Zelensky gave us a masterclass in how not to negotiate with President Trump. He essentially called him a fool, saying he was falling for Russian propaganda. This is not how to win friends and influence people. This is Keystone Cop tactics that he's had up until this point. And something crucial to remember, before the Trump administration, there was no table to bring these two individuals to. Putin and Zelensky would not engage in talks with one another. But because President Donald Trump has come to the table as the negotiator, they've been willing to come here. And my question is, how do we stop World War III? Because we don't need Zelensky being the straw that breaks the camel's back and the Archduke Franz Ferdinand of World War III.
Back with the Nightcap crew, Alexandria Hoff, Chanley Painter, Cameron Kinsey, Katie Zachariah, Luke Ball, and Jason Rantz. Tonight's topic, play possum. James Carville advising Democrats to be nice and play possum right now and let Republicans implode. What do you think? Is this an effective strategy? Alexandria Hoff, welcome to the Nightcap, your maiden voyage. What do you think?
You know, I've researched possums too much for this, but, my first thought was that possums, they play dead when they feel threatened, so I think that negates part of his point there, but I definitely think that Democrats need to try something new.
Chanley Painter, your thoughts?
I agree with her. I believe they're missing key opportunities for a true leader to emerge countering the Trump administration. And it's just really, instead of countering or playing politics, that's not why we send them to Washington and employ these politicians. So it's disappointing.
Luke Ball.
You know, the Democrats have had quite the evolution in philosophy in the FDR era. It was the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. In the JFK era, it was what you can do for your country. And now in the Biden-Harris era, it's roll over and play possum. Let's hope they keep this philosophy for a while.